Good to
Oh,
go. Perfect. All right. Thank you everybody once again, as always, for joining us, all of us ISVs here today. My name is Patrick Buzrini. I am a solution consultant with the k-ecommerce team. My primary role is to assist potential clients throughout their journey with implementing an online store. So, k-ecommerce is an e-commerce platform, an online store that allows for specific business to business organizations to really take advantage of all that core data that they have in the ERP. So that means we essentially create an online store that connects directly to Business Central, and it allows for all of that core information to exist on the e-commerce platform without having to manually touch it. And that means people can log in, people can order online, and when they do that, all of that information gets created in BC, so we can treat it accordingly. I realized I was logged into my session, so I just logged out. On today's presentation, we're going to cover a few different things. First and foremost, we'll talk about that business to business experience. So we have this test store where this online store, Audio Wave, sells audio and audio equipment as well as office equipment to businesses that need to you know have office supplies and audio office equipment among other things. So the idea here is we're going to be an existing customer that logs in and places an order for any goods that we need. We'll talk about Business Central along the way. We'll talk about some ordering tools that exist in the system as well. We'll also talk about how people can pay their bills online. So first and foremost, I'm a visitor on this site right now. As you can see, I haven't signed in or I'm logged out, and I can pretty much navigate through the site as you might expect. So as a buyer, I can see, for example, the items that exist in the system. You'll notice that these images all come from BC, so they haven't been cleaned up in this test environment. But ultimately, we see these items, and you'll notice that there's no price. There's no inventory levels. There's no ability to actually purchase one of these items. As you can see here, it's pretty reduced. And that's all strategically done. Because we've decided that this store is B2B focused, we're going to force people to log in if they want to do anything. So I can go ahead and sign in here. And when I do, with my email address and password, I'll essentially be granted access to all of my information uh, through this account. We'll start by seeing my dashboard where we see a number of orders that I have placed historically through this company. And you can see here we're displaying the last 5 orders as well as the status of those orders. And this is reflected automatically as those orders get updated in Business Central, right? So as that order turns into an invoice, it might change from a status of pending to a status of shipped. And all these different protocols occur as that order goes through its life cycle in Business Central. So we can see here the last orders placed under my account with some relevant information. We also see, upon logging in, our frequently ordered products. Clearly laid out here for us. So if I'm the type of buyer that pretty much orders the same thing on a regular basis, in this example, I need to order maybe a swivel chair for my conference room. I can just click add to cart. Oh, in this case, I add a quantity, add to cart, and there it is. We can continue on, right? So it's very simple, very easy to use, especially in an instance where I'm a returning customer. I see all of that core data already laid out for me. Now, if I need to do something different, like view the status of my order that has been shipped, I can open up that order. My internet seems to be running a bit slow. There you go. And see all of the details once again originating from Business Central as that source of truth, right? So we see here the order details, billing information, the items themselves, and so on, right? Even how I paid. So it's great for order tracking. You can see a packing slip information is there. If there is a tracking number that was added to BC, that'll be reflected here on the site as well. So I can just click a button to track my order. All in all, if I'm the type of buyer who orders the same thing every month, maybe I have a set package that I order, for example, when a new employee signs up, I can just click order again, and everything from that previous order will be recreated in a new shopping cart. Ultimately, We'll check that today's price is being used, not the price from that historic order. And we'll check and make sure that the inventory is still available if we're tracking that sort of thing. Right? Sometimes we like to accept back orders despite inventory levels in BC. Other times we just want to keep moving forward because we can easily reorder those items. Sometimes we also want to stop people from ordering if there's none in stock. So all of these are possible in the ordering experience. Um, Now that's great that we can order off of previous orders, as I said, but sometimes we want to search for new items, right? So we can search by keyword, of course, or we can search by product category, where I can jump into pretty much any of these product categories that exist. Excuse me, let me go to desk chairs. And we see here that information now pops up on the screen. And what's important to note is that now that I'm signed in, we see that we have my customer specific pricing set up here, as well as the ability to purchase these items. So any pricing that exists in Business Central as a standard, BC logic will be applicable here per customer. So that 2, 3, or 4 customers that log in will potentially see different prices based on who they are and their affiliation with you. Of course, filters can be set up through the attributes, and we can really get granular in terms of level of detail to show on this website. Opening up one of these items gives me some context into the details. Here, I've added a short description as well as other pieces of information like reviews, titles, and so on. So all this data can either come from the e-commerce from Business Central, but if you prefer to just upload this directly online and sort of bypass the data in BC, that can be done as well. Long story short, we see all the information here that we might need to buy a product, and then we can add that to cart. In this example, what's good to note is that there's actually 0 available currently, but I am in the position where I accept back orders on items. I'm not strained by inventory levels. And I have the ability to be notified when this product is back in stock. So as a customer, it's kind of nice that I can turn this on and be emailed when appropriate. Remove these messages. So that's ordering off, new items. Now, one feature that I have to talk about, of course, is the quick order tool. Now, this is a specific tool designed for customers who might order 10, 20, 30 line items at a time in the more business to business type spaces. I'm thinking automotive manufacturing, these sorts of places. In that context, you'll see a list of my shopping cart. Let me just empty it out for you today. Yes, I'm going to remove everything. And we see here, now there's nothing in the cart. So if I'm the type that knows the product code of what I'm looking to purchase, I just add the code directly, and that item will be added to the cart without me having to, enter a search term, find the item, and add it to cart. If I don't know the code, I can open up a search panel, which will essentially give me any results that I might be searching for here. And then I can add the correct one to my cart with a simple click. But most importantly, if I have that long list of items and I don't want to go through the steps of adding one at a time, I can import a list, either a CSV file or an Excel. I can copy the cells as I'm doing right now, or I can just import the sheet entirely into this window. And just by pasting it, all those items are added to the cart. So many ways to order products. Depending on the type of customer, we're giving them all of these tools to do so. So I'll proceed to checkout. And by getting to the checkout page, we have lots of information here on the screen, billing information, shipping information, and so on. I won't go through all these details here today, but we've all shopped online before. I'm sure we get the general crux of it. Shipping calculations can be done through various carriers that we support to go get real-time shipping information based on the things in the cart. Taxes, of course, can be calculated depending on if they need to be applied, all based on different rules from the ERP, or if you're using something like Avalara as well. And then we get the payment information. Now, when it comes to payment information, it's crucial because customers can either be prompted to pay upfront via something like a credit card or an ACH, where they can input their credit card information securely and pay immediately. But in the business to business space, we might have certain customers that qualify for on account, which means that they would want to pay their bills after the fact. And so for this, I can essentially select my on account setting to those that are allowed to do so and finalize my order. I haven't paid anything. I just processed the order. It will exist in Business Central within a few seconds. Now, it's taking my internet here today. I don't know what's going on. There we go. Sorry about that. So we get the order information here. Now, I'll talk about in a minute how to pay those bills, uh, even though they haven't been paid up front. But for now, the order has been confirmed. It's going to exist in Business Central within the next few seconds. And there's a web order number that's applied here. Emails are sent out to all those involved. So we can see here firsthand that we have a BC order number that we can go search for in Business Central. I'll have to log back into BC. Not sure why this is prompting me again, but let's try that again. Now I can blame Business Central for its speed, not our system. Here we go. So we see the sales orders. And when we open up Business Central sales orders, you should see that order in line with all other orders here. Or let me just search for it. It'll be a bit faster. There it is. That's the order we created online here a few seconds ago. And what's crucial to highlight is when I open this order up, all of the core data exists in the existing Business Central fields. You got all your customer details, you got your web order number, as well as everything that was added to the cart. Right? So from here, you pick, pack, and ship, you do what you normally do. Nothing changes back office. Once that's all done and addressed in BC, the website will update the status, update the tracking information, and so on and so forth. So it's this constant back and forth between the two systems. Now, with the 3 minutes I have left, I do want to cover one last subject. And as I highlighted before, we created this order, but we haven't paid our bills. So this might be applicable to somebody that has like net 60 or net 30 with you. And at the end of the 30 or 60 days, the invoice is created and it's time to pay this $5,764. So through the k-ecommerce platform, we not only integrate to all the core data needed to produce a sales order, like products and customers, but we can also implement an invoice payment page, which will allow customers to see all of their open invoices or posted invoices from Business Central with the invoice numbers, and they can select those invoices and pay them with a few simple clicks. You can see here I've got one payment done. I can use credits on file, and then I can simply pay via credit card or via bank transfer like an ACH. And clicking on confirm my payment allows that payment to go through. What's great about this is that it's fully integrated once again to BC. So all of that, accounts receivable type information is all done. The cash receipt is created. The journal entries are written so that it makes it quite a breeze for the accounting team. So this tool allows us, one, to place orders online, but also to pay bills online through the system. And last but not least, if ever we're not into giving our customers a portal to pay their bills online, there's also a piece that can sit directly inside Business Central that allows us to essentially process transactions directly through BC, right? So if I want to process a payment on the sales order we created, we can release the order and then essentially click this single button and it will start the pre-authorization or purchase process for this order. Great for situations where we have a customer's credit card information saved online and we're authorized to process, let's say, on the first of every month for their invoices. With all that said, I know that I spoke quite fast and I apologize for that. But with that, I'll give it back to Amy and the team to continue on.